Our Western way of life. Peace, freedom, coffee and bread. But what if it's not? Friends, in the future, there might be episode 39 of Irrelevant Interviews online. So prepare for the future. The future is now. I'm really glad this time I didn't screw up with the time zones.
Hi, everyone.
Hiya.
How's it
Hello,
going?
everyone.
Okay, it's been a while since I last did an international episode. And the reason why I do these things is because when I can, I'm a traveler. I like exploring new countries, new cities. So this is a way for me to stay in touch with the rest of the world while I'm not able to go out. I'm very bad at introductions, so we're gonna get to know each other as we go. Let me get started with the one who's in cosplay. Olivia, is it?
Yes, hiya. Nice to meet you all.
What are you dressed as?
I'm dressed as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad.
Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. And what does she do?
She's badass. What can I say?
She's a badass. Enough said. Okay, I know the answer to this question, but this is something I always ask. Have you participated in cosplay contests?
I have indeed. I've done a few. We actually met at one in Wales last year. I remember
Yes,
that.
I witnessed her victory along with, I suppose it's her sister.
Yes, that's it. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it today, but she's here in spirit.
That's what matters. Yes, I was present when you won first place in the performance category.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the Joker performance. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Thank you. By the way, right now I'm drinking one of the teas that I bought in England. This is the last box I have. I bought so much tea because it's so cheap over there.
Mm-hmm.
And every box contains like 40 bags.
That's it. That's it. Nothing beats a good British cup of tea.
I guess you would say that. What's the funniest moment that you remember during a cosplay contest?
Oh god, the funniest one. That's a very good question. I've seen some really, really cool acts. I remember there was a really good Hades cosplay from Hercules, and it was like a really, really cool drag event. And oh, it was hilarious. I absolutely loved watching it. One of our own, probably, we did like a Mangle and Foxy masquerade skit, and that was really, really funny. We reenacted a YouTube video, and it was really funny to do. It was great to do on stage. It was, yeah, that was really, really fun.
Flynn Shuker has joined the hunt for deer feathers. Thanks for the follow. I don't know if it's someone any of you know.
Yes. Flynn is the Tengen cosplayer that was a Wales Comic Con as well.
All right.
Yeah.
One last thing. Can you tell me, if you were a pizza, how much avocado would you have?
Avocado. Ooh. Interesting pizza topping. I can't really say. I've never tried it before, but I guess I don't know. Maybe a few slices, to feel adventurous. Because why not? Why not?
In all seriousness, try it. Recommended.
I might do.
Hey Flynn, he sends his regards. Before I continue with the next one more question. Can you tell me how many cosplayers does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, it depends on what they're cosplaying. If they're on stilts, probably one. If they're all my size and have the same mental age of 7 as me, probably like 3 to 5. You know, I'm a blonde, maybe even more.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
anywhere between 1 and 5 or 6. Arina, am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Tere, Arina.
Hello.
What was your last cosplay?
Well, the last cosplay that I made, it was Blitz from Hell of a Boss, but it was like such a small project that it's not so interesting to talk about. So I would rather say that it was Vash the Stampede from Trigun series. And yeah, it was more complicated project, so I would say it was this.
Mhm. And can you tell me what Hell of a Boss is about?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me what Hell of a Boss is about?
Oh, we want to talk about Hello Boss. I have the whole like wall of prints with that. So you're sure that you want me to like talk about that? I can talk about that a lot. So it's about drama. It's about hell. Yeah,
Drama in Hell.
inappropriate jokes.
Yeah,
Inappropriate jokes.
Yeah,
too
yeah.
many jokes.
It's not too many. Yes.
Have you participated in cosplay competitions?
A lot. Like for all the more than 10 years that I've been cosplaying, I've been participating in cosplay competitions. So yeah, I have been a lot in that.
What's the funniest moment you remember during a competition?
Actually, I was thinking about that today. How would I answer that question? And I think that the funniest and the most unexpected was when I was performing with my Jinx cosplay, and I did the rehearsal. Everything was nice, but I didn't know that the stage has this like fire effect as well, like on the edge of the stage. And at the at the rehearsals, we didn't use them. So I was like, I had no idea that we do have them. And so when I was already on stage, like actually performing, then the someone who was responsible for the stage effects decided at the moment when the music went like boom, there was like a explosion in the sound. Then I was really close to the edge, and then somebody decided that this is the right moment to put like the fire on the stage, to the edge of the stage. And I was so terrified of that. Like I'm in the middle of my performance, and I'm so terrified that everyone after the performance, everybody told me, Arina, you didn't expect that, right? I was like, yes, I didn't expect that because it was even visible that I was really surprised by that fire. I think it was quite dangerous, but it's funny to remember about that. So
So there were no tragedies on that day. That's a good part.
yeah, there was no tragedy, and I'm not even sure that somebody else had this effect as well. I don't recall it, so it was only with my performance or not. I don't know, but it was it was quite funny because after that, like my life was in danger just like a couple of moments ago, and then I was like, okay, I will just continue with my performance. It's fine. Everything is fine.
It's all good and fine.
Yeah.
One more thing. Can you tell me how many cosplayers can fit in a Volkswagen?
Das Auto. It depends on which Volkswagen are we talking about.
Oh,
Is it like one of those vans for the family, or is it like a Golf? But well, considering my experience, even a small Golf can like fit a lot of cosplayers in with all the stuff that cosplayers need. So a lot. Let's just say a lot.
a lot. No matter the number
Yeah.
of props and accessories.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing. Can you tell me what's your opinion about the price of vegan chicken salad with mayonnaise?
Well, well, thinking about inflation, I think that I'm just terrified by that price.
Scary,
Whatever it is, I'm just terrified.
intimidating.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna continue with Vicaricorn.
Hello.
What was your last cosplay?
My last cosplay, as in completely new, or the last one I used?
The last one you used for the first time.
Oh, okay. The last one I used for the first time was, I will say Alastor from Hasmin Hotel.
Alistair. What does he do?
He's the radio demon. So in ultra super summary, a serial killer that went to hell, and now he's basically an overlord because everyone is terrified of him.
Hmm. Curious. Have you competed in cosplay contests?
Yep, a couple of times. Actually, I think we met on one of the contests from maybe like 2 years ago in Infinity Center.
Yeah, I remember that day.
I think was it with Joker, right?
You were the Joker. I was Mr. 47.
Yeah. Oh, I still have like my throat sore from laugh from making the laugh in the middle of the stage.
Take care of that. That was too long ago.
Yeah.
What's the funniest moment you remember during a cosplay contest?
I will say either that, because that, or actually the one time I used Alastor for a contest, because I know you have to prepare and rehearse beforehand for a presentation, but somehow I always like to just improvise the moment I just enter the stage. And depending of the song or especially the character, I love doing that. So for example, for Alastor, I dance to the song from the Living Tombstone that they made for him, full like a Charleston style dance. And not gonna lie, I improvised that like the moment I was already thinking, okay, I'm going to dance this song. But the moment I was walking to stage, okay, what am I gonna do? Eh, let's just go with the flow. And I did it. And with Alice, with Joker as well, I did the same. I did the same. I improvised every moment. I just follow the music, follow the vibe, because it's two songs that I know almost by memory at this point. So like, I'm just going to do what I do normally while listening to those songs, and just dance and vibe to it, but in full character.
So
And kind
you're
of work.
into improvisation.
Yeah.
Josh Cat sends regards to all of us. I don't know if it's someone any of you know. Arina. Um, Tell me one thing. If you had an elephant in the refrigerator, what would happen to the butter?
It will be squished, or it will smell it will smell like an elephant. Well, depending on where's the foot, it will smell like an elephant foot.
Hmm, makes sense. One last thing for you. Could you tell me how can you tell whether Australia is real and the Australians aren't paid actors?
At this point, with the amount of things that live there, I believe there should be actors, because it means like that's where, I don't know, God decided, I don't know, let's try every combination of animal ever and just throw it and let's see what happens.
Well, that's God's experimental sandbox.
Yes.
Okay.
I think enough giant spiders to understand that.
In a previous episode, one of the guests suggested me one question and I found it interesting, so I kept asking it on every episode from that point on. What's the strangest material each of you have used for a cosplay? Or the strangest item, the most unusual?
Mm,
That's a good question, actually.
yeah.
I think I
Hmm.
have an answer to that. I think that the strangest thing that I've used was the like electricity cables, because I needed to make bracelets for, I don't remember the character's name, but it's from Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, and the character had like those bracelets that were really big, and I needed something like circular, like the tubes, to make those bracelets of. And well, I was little teenager and I knew nothing about the cosplay materials. And I believe that at that time, maybe there wasn't such a cosplay material to build something like this because it was years ago. So I found nothing better than just to use those cables. So yeah, I think that this is the strangest and the most wrong thing that I ever used in my cosplay.
Mm, for me, I think it would be the iron rod, as in like full on like a sewer pipe for the handle of a sword. And I still to this day don't believe how they let me go through customs with that thing, because it was an iron sewer pipe.
That's hardcore. Oh god. Oh, I don't know. I think. Hmm. Oh, I know. Right. So, for Gyutro's like bracelet, I needed some kind of like scaly material, and my parents were actually getting a new bed, and for one of their like frame, like the levering on the actual base, they had this like scaly like material. So I literally stripped my parents' old bed and I cut the pieces to make those bracelets for Gyutaro. I mean, it was free, so I find that as a win. It was perfect.
If it works.
If it works.
Exactly. If it works, it works.
Also, if it's free, so
Exactly.
Exactly.
I find that as a win.
I mean, at this point for prop makers, you need to accept you need to dive in the trash sometimes for materials.
Oh yes,
Become a
absolutely.
scavenger.
I think that
Exactly.
it's like I think that it's like every cosplayer's thing that before you throw something away, you just look at it with the cosplayer's eye and you're like, okay, maybe I will need that. And you're actually not throwing it away. You're just putting it on your cosplay shelf. And like
Yes.
sometime later, you're like, thanks God I saved it because now I need it.
Yes, exactly.
Is
Yeah.
is that with just like the giant back of EVA phone strips that you're not going to use because they're too small, but you say, no, I might use this for a small piece or like a detail or something. I'm just gonna save it. Just gonna save it.
Mhm.
Yes. And the second you decide to throw it away, the next day you will
You
need
need
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
hmm No, at this point, I am convinced that cosplayers are just hoarders.
Oh
We
yeah.
Yeah.
are. hmm
At this point,
Maybe.
I have to have like I'm not able to have like my cosplay on my room or something. I need to have like a entire separate room, like a workshop, just because
hmm
it doesn't fit anymore on my room.
Yeah.
I feel the pain.
Same here. Like in last December, I moved to a really small apartment thinking that I'm living alone, so it fits me, it's okay. And now I'm back to like actively doing cosplay, and I'm running out of space. Like, really, there is no space for that in that apartment.
It's a struggle.
Is the
Yeah.
struggle.
In my
Think
case, I can think of two weird things that I've used on my cosplays. One of them is a very short and boring story. It was cutouts of expired credit cards. I used them to to harden some of the pieces of an armor that was made in vinyl, but you know that armors are supposed to be hard and vinyl is flexible, so underneath it has some cutouts of credit cards.
That's not a bad idea.
I was going to say it's quite clever.
Actually, yeah.
No, it was like two, one for each hand. The problem was when I moved the hand, the protector moved along with it, so I needed something to make it stiff.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that many. The second one was a pack of jelly. I don't know if Vicaricorn already knows this story, but one of those jellies you get at the supermarket.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
I've always avoided to use lights or electronics on my cosplays. So I was looking for an alternative for my Falco cosplay. If you have played Super Smash Bros., you'll notice that he has a reflector.
I remember.
The reflector he uses to deflect the projectiles of the opponents. So this is supposed to be a light, but as I said, I try not to use electronics or batteries or those kind of things in my cosplays. And one day I was riding on a friend's car on the way home, and he offered me one of these jellies, and I never ate it. But then I looked at the shape, and it has potential. So the funniest part is that I took Falco to a competition, and before we got up on the stage, we had to go into the small room with the judges for them to check our costumes closely. I was just describing what I had in my outfit. Oh yeah, this is I made this with jelly, and the boots are. Wait. That's a jelly. Can you take it out? Yeah, I suppose it's not glued or anything. It still says jelly here. And the judge went like, "Oh my god, it's actual jelly! You can eat it!"
Cheeky snack on the go. You get hungry in cosplay.
Exactly.
What I said was, in case of emergency, I suppose I could.
Low blood sugar or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Pop it right in, and
Perfect.
that's it.
It has happened.
Actually, that reminds me. I think you know the story about the Joker wig.
The Joker wig.
So that was one of the little first wigs I've ever worked on, and I have no idea still to this day how to work like a really good wig. So it was a black wig that I bought for like $1 or $2, super cheap, so I didn't mind anything happening to it. But the Joker has green hair, and I didn't know how to dye a wig. So what I did was I just put like a ball of styrofoam, put the wig on top of it, and just grab a spray paint and just paint them green. So if you look at it, the worst part is it still keeps like the same shape and everything, but it looks like what's on a soccer field, like the synthetic grass. It has the same texture and feel as a synthetic grass patch just on my head. And the worst part is, and Dimas can confirm it, it's still canon. It's still technically canon that Joker's hair is messed up and horrible at this point.
I mean, if it works, it works.
If it works,
Yes,
it works.
but
Exactly.
if it works, then it works.
Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as it works, you can.
Sometimes I think
Yeah.
my own Joker wig looks like a football field, but that's because The original wig is brown, and I had to dye it green. And I used two different tones of green, so it looks like a football field after the game.
I mean,
Um,
yours is still good because you're still is the Dark Knight version, so
mhm.
he has all messed up and greasy hair, so it works.
Yeah, you could say it was by design.
Exactly. It was all part of the plan.
Exactly. You're just
Indeed.
thinking ahead.
Yeah, but
It's
in
when
some, it's not consistent across the whole movie. But you can see in some points that the greenest part is on the lower part of the hair, and the top is always a lighter color, like brown.
like losing the dye and actually that's like really cool little because it actually shows that he does that messed up makeup every morning just when he wants to go out or something. So he actually you see that he does it quickly, even though I think there are some scenes when he still has makeup on his hands and everything, like like a small detail.
That's
I never
the
noticed that. I'll have
commitment.
to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. You may not know this, but before I went to the Wales Comic Con, while I was on the plane, I was watching The Dark Knight during the flight. I wanted to grab every piece of dialogue that I could, so I could adapt it to my skits.
I was getting prepared.
Yeah, very prepared.
Yeah, it was. I did the same version in Spanish around here, and the people seem to like it. It's sometimes the contests don't have a performance category, but personally, that's the part that I enjoy the most.
Yeah, it is the best part. I
Mhm.
mean, here in the UK, we've got a big Comic Con called MegaCon, and towards the end of last year, they actually tried getting rid of the performance category. Through no fault of their own, it was the Guild of Nerds decision. It was just going to be craftsmanship. So the two categories were like the costume has to be either 70% made or 50% made and above to even enter. And we were like, that hold on, that's kind of not the point of masquerades. So
What's
many
the fun
people
in
enter for
that?
the performance aspect.
Exactly. What's the fun in that?
So we actually messaged them because I'm in a Vocaloid dance group as well. And we were like, guys, can you not like we kind of need that. Your entry's gonna like fall massively if you get rid of that because so
Mhm.
many people either can't afford to make their own cosplays or just don't have the skill set for it yet. And they actually brought in a new category called the Bard category, which is purely for performance. So I'm so glad they did that because like that's the most fun part of the masquerade. Like it's great, honestly.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Here, what they do usually is, depending on the contest, or well, depending on the con, either they have a presentation for each of the contestants, or for example, they have the top eight, and only the top eight actually go to stage and do a presentation. But they do
Oh
tell you,
wow.
okay, get ready, have a presentation ready, work on your presentation. If you get on the top eight, you can actually show it on the stage.
Only if you get on the top 8.
Hmm.
Damn. I haven't heard of that before.
So
I think that
maybe
maybe
maybe the best part of your cosplay is the skit,
The
but no one will
yeah,
watch it.
it's like there was a contest back here like a couple of months ago. They did the scene from Adventure Time with the lemon grabs,
Hmm.
and it was the exact same scene, and it was hilarious because they even had like the small minis of the little lemon baby, and they were playing and screaming at each other. And that idea, like the costume itself is, well, not simple, but it doesn't have like something like big or flashy, but the entire idea is just a presentation. So that is true.
Well, when it comes to like performances and contents, then I think that this combination of a good costume, even if it's like a boat costume or remade costume, and also the performance, it's always like 50-50. Because as
Mhm.
much feedback as I've got during my last performance or after my last performances, then a lot of judges in the contestants, they look at the performance and they take that into consideration. So when
Mhm.
the is good, then the whole like cosplay will be good.
Yeah.
I have
Having
another question that I tend to ask everybody in this type of episodes. What's the farthest from home you've ever been in cosplay?
mm,
Um, for me, well, it's kind of a funny one. So like I live in the UK, but I'm originally from Poland. But I would say like the furthest would be Poland if we're talking like now home.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, my dog's just coughing in the background. Um, but yeah. I brought my Shinobi cosplay to Poland with me on holiday once. So yeah, I'd say that's the furthest one.
I think for me, it's I live in Estonia, Tallinn, and for me it was this summer, Linköping in Sweden, where the Nyarkon was taking place. It's quite far away from Estonia. It took me like one day to reach there, so this is the most far that I've been in cosplay.
Vika?
for me was MegaCon in Orlando, Florida, because it was the first time ever I actually traveled to another con like another country. And what was funny was, well, that was the con that I went with the iron rod inside the sword, and I was wearing a crow brangwen from Ruby, just because only there that show is not like really known here in Costa Rica. And there on the con, all four of like the main character voice actresses were invited. So I went there and it was like, oh my god, it's like totally different thing when like it's bigger, giant version of like of a con 4 days. I still want like one day to actually go to another country and have like the classic one costume per day for a con, just to see if I survive it.
Yeah,
But
I'd
you
love to go to a
didn't
con
take
one
over like four costumes to the convention, right?
No, I went like with normal clothes on the first day. I went with the cosplay on the second and third day, and the fourth day I went normal again.
Okay.
To be fair, I would struggle taking like four cosplays with me from the UK anyway, because like baggage is expensive. Like
Yes.
even small
Yeah.
10-kilo bag, like the prices are extortionate. It's so bad. So like imagine taking four costumes. You got your wigs, you got your contact lenses, any props. That would be impossible.
For props, I will be cooked because, and Demons can confirm it. Almost like more than half of my cosplays are either giant armors or hawks from My Hero Academia. And how on earth I'm going
Oh
to grab those giant red wings on a simple suitcase?
yeah, that would be interesting to pack. That's for sure. Hmm.
Well, once I brought over the only armor that I have, my Cyrex from Mortal Kombat. That on that moment, I realized that it could be disassembled. I Since I received it in one piece, I never knew that it could be disassembled until I tried to pack it in a luggage case.
Thing That happened to me with the Reaper armor from Overwatch. S- That one, I believe I can disassemble it as much, but Thresh from League of Legends, that thing I cannot disassemble, like at all. At most, like chest piece boots and the giant lantern sight.
In my case, the farthest from home that I've been in cosplay, it has to be Estonia. I went there in quite some time ago already. I remember that I won like the sponsor's favorites or something like that. One of the small prizes. It was a fabric bag with some merchandise, a T-shirt, but it was quite interesting. But it was too long ago, so unfortunately, mina ei ragi esti kelt, so don't ask me anything. To make things even worse, ja nie znaju paruski tože.
I know both languages, so I understood like both what you said now. Yeah.
At least
But have
someone
you been
knows.
Tallinn or Tartu? Was it in Tallinn or Tartu? Which town?
As a tourist, I went to those two cities.
Okay.
The cosplay event was in Tartu.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cozy. But unfortunately, this year they had the last one.
Mhm.
They are closed now. This event is now closed. So you're lucky that you visited it because it's one of the coziest and yeah, the coziest events that we had here in Estonia.
In my last international episode, I had Euphemia here, who I met
Oh.
in person when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it was a way to bring back some memories. Mm. Have you ever spent money on a cosplay element just for the LOLs, just as an inside joke?
Ooh, good
Yes.
question. Hmm.
My inside joke became a full cosplay, but that's another story.
My inside joke became the reason I made the cosplay in the first place.
Which one was it?
It was Hawks. I first bought the chicken leg socks just to wear them under the boots. And every time someone asks, "Oh wait, I need to show you something," and just took out the boot and showed them the chicken legs. That and also the entire reason I made the cosplay just because I wanted to take a photo ordering something at KFC. That was my entire goal.
Respect. I love that.
That and also that was also, I also like to like sometimes give out like stickers or something. To some people, I had like small feathers that my girlfriend drew with like my Instagram tag and everything. But for other people, she actually was able to grab like the KFC logo, and instead of the cornel, it was the hog's face. So that was the sticker I gave out to people.
I've seen that.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I mean, for me, it was so we did Ducky and Gutro, and a lot of my friends are also Demon Slayer cosplayers, and we were like, as like an inside joke, we were like, "Lol, imagine if we did a cowboy group. It would be so funny." Um, and like it was like an idea in the group chat for like a good year, and then for Anime Con this year, we were like, "Should we actually do it? We've all got like cowboy hats and stuff." And we were like, you know what? Why not? So we thrifted like a lot of things that were like that we thought would work for the characters. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And we did a full on group and it was so fun. Like it was the highlight of Anime Con. I absolutely loved it.
Michiru is
Yeah.
sending regards to Vika.
Hello. But that was it was cowboy versions of the 12 moons or the
Like in general, like there were Hashira, there were demons. There was so I did Gyutaro, my sister did Daki. We had Rengoku, Sanemi, Giyu, and Shinobu as well. It was great. Honestly, it was so fun.
I love that
And
idea.
people loved it. Yeah, I mean, I even got my friend to 3D print, Gyutaro sickles, but
Uh-huh.
into like revolvers. So I've got two like Gyutaro revolvers just for this cosplay. It was insane. It was so good,
That's an awesome idea. Damn.
honestly. And he based it off the revolvers from Final Fantasy. So they were like sickles
Uh-huh.
mixed with those. It was really, really clever how they were done, I must say.
That's an awesome idea, actually. I'm thinking about it.
Honestly, go for it. It's so cool. Like any like alternate universe of like a fandom, just do it. People love it because it's something different and you definitely like stick out for it. It's something memorable. It's great.
Because one that actually wanted to do like some time ago, well, actually it's still on my cost plans. Hopefully I can get it by the end of the year. Is my girlfriend is going to do Fisaroli and I'm going to do Asmodeus.
Hell yes.
And
Yes.
we're thinking like any idea or any duo, like something dumb that we can try. Like the entire scene when they're waking up and Fisaroli and they say, can I cook today? So you burn out the kitchen again? And no, we cannot have burgers. Burger time. Burger time. We want to do like every like skit or every dumb stuff that we can try with that ship.
This will be so
Hell
amazing.
yes.
Please do it.
Yes, please. That'll be sick.
That or one that I did, and I believe Dima saw me the last time I were Alastor. I ordered a friend to make me like the small deer tail. And he walked around the entire con just moving the tail because I was so happy because it looked so damn adorable.
I think that every cosplayer who cosplays Alistair should have this tale because
Yes.
right now I'm actually like working on Alistair cosplay, so as you can see,
Oh, I love
and
that.
yeah, and I'm planning to do this tale as well because I cannot imagine Alistair without that deer tail. So
No,
Right.
exactly. It's
also
iconic.
putting the bow on top of that, like maybe in pink color. I think that it's like I don't
I
know,
like
for
that
some reason it's
idea.
such a canon in my head.
I like that idea because I have a friend of mine that we annoy her a lot because she's like nifty. She was human, and she's
Oh,
going
hell
to
yeah.
actually do nifty like the cosplay. So there are a ton of like dumb ideas and dumb videos we want to record of the entire King Cockroach skit or oh I'm the only one that understands your twisty little head and that type of stuff.
I can think of three of my own. One of them is okay. Back in 2015, I didn't have any Marvel cosplays, but there was an event that was called Marvel Expo, so I knew there were going to be some X-Men cosplayers. So what I did was I went to print a T-shirt with the logo of the Friends of Humanity, and I painted a sign saying "No more mutants." And that was my cosplay for that day. Now this year I improved it and I bought the beret like the ones from X-Men '97. And I just need to go around there with a meme face and look for mutants to put my sign in front of them.
And to be honest, he's still to this day the only one that I've seen it, and it's so good. It's so good.
Another one. Um, do you like the legend? I didn't say anything. You like the Legend of Zelda? Give me 10 seconds. It's in a package over there. I'll be
I
right
remember
back.
this.
Ah, yeah, you have already seen it.
Yeah.
Give me 10 seconds. I'll be back.
I'm thinking, what another. Oh, actually, that was the last con we went like a couple of weeks ago. There was
While I
someone
look for
dressed.
it,
There was someone dressed as the author from Jujutsu Kaisen. Since he was wearing like a one like a white onesie and the cardboard head of the cat,
Oh my god, that's iconic.
and he was laughing at us because everyone wanted to kill him.
Goddamn Gege.
Goddamn Gege.
okay, this year I brought my Link cosplay for the first time. And since I didn't have a shield or a sword or any prop, I decided to bring to cook a little something.
Oh my god. That's sick. That's so cool. What's it made of?
It's a cardboard out of a cereal box,
Oh, I see.
and this
That's
is
sick.
this is an actual plate, a cardboard
Nice.
Just love that
I
it
love
actually
that.
looks like pixelated. It actually looks
Yeah,
like,
it does.
like a pixelated thing.
plate. Yeah, when I went to the print shop, the guy looked at me strangely and he asked me, "Do you want to see this before I print it? You really want? Do you really need more than one copy?"
That's sick.
And the last one was if you have played Overwatch, you'll notice that. Okay, I have a Tracer cosplay, and one of her victory poses has her drinking a cup of tea, since she's British, you know. But there is a skin where she is wearing a mask. So when the team wins and she has that winning pose, she's like this, but with a mask in between. And since that's the skin of my cosplay, I went to the supermarket, bought a cup that looked very similar to the one in the game, only for the purpose of taking some pictures, doing the victory pose.
Dedication, well.
Yeah.
That's not the one. I don't really know where it is at this time. It's just a regular white cup and a plate.
Do you want like some like other thing like I've done like some like dumb skit? I remember one I have like my only to this day cosplay from Genshin that I have is Shangli, and a friend of mine actually bought like the inflatable dragon that you can ride on.
Oh my god. I know
So
someone who did that as well.
so for a con, he lent it to me, and I kept just walking around the entire con the entire day, so happy, like riding the dragon. At one point, funny enough, in that exact con, there were other like 3 or 4 people that were dressed as Shangli as well. So you just make a conga line of Shanglis walking around on top of the dragon.
Oh my god. That sounds iconic, for real.
Dimas can confirm, unless you do something stupid on a con, you didn't enjoy the con.
No, exactly. Like,
Many moons ago, we did a conga line. We were dressed as Shy Guys from Mario, but we were inviting everyone to follow us on the conga line. There's a recording of that, and I don't know if one of the pieces of the footage can tell that there was one videographer who was filming a girl in a cosplay. Just he was supposed to be filming her, but then he saw the conga line, so He left her and went running after the conga line,
No.
filming the line.
No, cosplay conga lines best. I don't know if you remember Wales Comic Con after the masquerade.
Yes,
We were all waiting for the results from the judges, and they just started playing some music, and literally every contestant started a massive conga line around the venue. It was so funny. Like, I hate waiting for results after masquerade, so this was like the perfect filler. Like, everyone had so much fun. More cons should do that. More
I felt
interlude conga lines were
compelled to
great.
join the line. I wasn't planning to, but I was in the middle, so what the hell?
Yeah, you know, it's a conga line you gotta join. It's the rules.
Exactly.
You know.
Think there's one time I had well, it was like a closet cosplay for Satoru Gojo, but when he's wearing like the light blue shirt, and I was just talking with a friend because he was dressed up as Itadori. So we're just playing around, acting like we're dad and son, like on a getaway. And at the same time, like on another like near there was a friend that was taking like a photo shoot. She was dressed as Jaimiko, and the funniest thing was she didn't notice it until she actually uploaded the photos to Instagram. And on every single photo, you see me on like a small corner on the far side of the left, you see me just doing like this, and just posing because I was playing with my friend. But all the photos just show me on like a far side, and she just sent me a text like, "Why are you on every of my pictures?" I was on a photo shoot, like, "Sorry, that wasn't my fault. I didn't even notice it." And the worst part is kind of canon. That's the worst part of all.
I think that those like silly moments on the background of the photos and videos are like one of the best because for some reason, well, dancing is really like calming. So before I'm going to stage, I'm always like dancing on the backstage before going there, and like a little bit. And I have a lot of videos from other cosplayers who were just filming what is going on the stage, and they're just on the other side. There is me like this. So there's like a lot of videos of that when I went on stage, and also when I was helping like organizing one event here in Thailand. Then I was like backstage staff of the cosplay performances, cosplay contests, and while I was like leading everyone to the stage, I was also like this. So there's a lot of cosplay performances videos where the performer is on stage and then in the corner is me, like this. Yeah, just having my best time.
I think we had around here one event where after the cosplay contest, there was some downtime where the cosplayers were kind of forced to do some dancing on the stage, but I wasn't participating on that one. I only was part of the public, of the audience. But the kind of music that they played wasn't really motivating.
Hmm.
I mean, when I was in Wales Comic Con, they played some. I don't know if it's called soca or what kind of genre was it.
Oh, I can't remember now. I know they played some music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the one they played over there was it's something some people would argue if it's actual music.
Fair enough.
Yes. One thing that
Moving on to another topic. Have you ever arrived at a convention just to realize you're missing a piece of your cosplay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you able to save it?
Nope.
No. Mm-mm. Unfortunately, I have a really bad habit of not like cos testing before I bring a new con to a convention. So like I do a new character and I'm like, okay, I'll do this kind of makeup and everything. And then I get to the con and I just realize that I've completely missed out like a crucial piece of the makeup. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, like it's like it could be like a little detail or something, but it's like it's so annoying. Like I literally like looked at a photo of this character's makeup and I still got it wrong. But yeah, like we've forgotten like small props or like small details before. Nothing like too major, but enough not to be able to like salvage it, kind of thing.
My first
I
two
have
times
to.
doing the makeup
Yeah.
of the Joker without a reference.
I have two stories regarding that. One story is connected with me because it was connected with my Kaneki-ken cosplay from Tokyo Ghoul, and I went to another town to a convention, and I needed to be in that cosplay for 2 days in a row because on the first day we had cosplay panel with that, and on the second day I was performing with that cosplay on stage. And when I arrived to Tartu, I realized that I forgot all of my makeup brushes at home, and I was like, okay, how I'm going to do the makeup because it's a small town. There is not much of like options to go and buy those brushes. So I just I just went in makeup store and I bought like maybe three brushes and just made my makeup with that. But it wasn't the best makeup that I have ever done. But yeah, it was how I solved the situation, and it was really long time ago. But now, before like going to any con that is outside of Tallinn, I like check everything and I check everything twice, especially my makeup bag because I don't want to like buy new stuff just because I forgot something at home. And
Yeah.
well, another story is that connected with my friend. I was helping her with like backstage. She was going to perform, and I was helping her on backstage. And the second we arrived to con, she's like getting into the cosplay, and she's like, "Arina, I forgot like the piece of the bow that he had on the back, like on the back, that holds it to the belt." So she's not able to put the bow like on her costume. And I was like, okay, how many time do you have? She was like, not much because prejudging is quite soon. And I just sprinted to our apartment to get that detail because happily it was in the apartment. It was with her, but not like on the convention. It was at the apartment. And I just sprinted there and sprinted back. And I was like, it's here. Please put it on. So we made it just in time for the prejudging. It was all good. But yeah, I was like, this was an Olympic record. I think that nobody ran as I ran this time.
For
My
me,
new
what?
makeup. I was supposed to use a new makeup a couple of weeks ago for my Ninja Mime cosplay. It was new, unopened. And when I finally opened it, it was petrified. I opened a jar of a stone, a white stone, that I couldn't use on my face. I don't
Oh
know
my
why
God.
my instinct at the very last moment before I left home, my instinct told me to bring my old face paint. But I was uh, I was supposed to be using a brand new makeup on that day, which never happened.
You know what that was? That was the Spidey sense saving you.
Yeah, we love makeup malfunctions. It's great.
Uh, for me, it was a prop, and I still to this day to this day I get like getting haunted by it. I made Bakugo's like, I believe like Strafe Panzer armor. I think that was the name, when it has the 6 giant cannons on the back. And I was working on that nonstop. And the morning of the literal morning of the con, I put on the cannons, and like the support just and just fall apart. I'm like, on that morning of a con, getting ready for it. And between some friends, the idea was, you know what? I don't care. We glue all the cannons together and just glue it to like the color piece, and just pray to God the foam resisted and not breaks apart. And okay, kind of worked. And I, after some time, I fixed it and actually made like a proper structure with PVC pipes and whatnot. Okay, it works. Awesome, great. I take it to a con, to like an event, super small. I couldn't even walk around, and I had to at every time just take out the cannons and put it back on, just for a photo, just and take it back off. And I still like kept getting haunted by that pro, because I worked so hard on it for it to never actually show up like really good on like a photo or something. And oh my god, that. And the first time I had Hades from Shuatsu no Valkyrie. I were like, okay, I was going for like a group photo, everything. I walked there, okay, wig, suit, the costume was lovely, the spear, forgot the shoes, forgot the jewelry, and forgot the eye patch. I'm like, well, great. And the worst part is I didn't even realize I was missing that until like like a day before, or like the day of the con. Like, wait, he wears like an earring, something here, and the eye patch, and oh my god, I haven't done it. Thankfully, the last time I had it was the last event. I actually went with it, and the saddest part is I went with it. Awesome, great. I finally have like a proper Hades costume. I didn't take any photos, and that always happens.
It has happened to me.
Happened
Another
to
one
everyone.
was
Happened to
Mhm.
everyone. Yeah.
when I took my another day when I took my Cyrax cosplay to another event. I arrived early. I went to the changing room. I was putting on my armor, my protectors, everything, all the gear. And below the helmet, I am wearing a black mask. So I was opening my bag, looking for the mask, just to realize that I never found it. I'm not going out there half dressed, so I decided to take it all off again, save it, and see if I could find at least some friend who has an extra t-shirt so I could wear it on my face for a moment. I don't know. I don't even know the name. There was one of the shops, one of the on the near the where the guest cosplayers were. It was a small shop, just a table with no sign, with no advertising, but they were selling ninja masks. And I was like, "Give me the black one! Shut up and
Saving the
take my
day.
money!"
That's so convenient. Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's such a lucky shot.
No,
But
literally.
it was
Yeah.
like a ghost shop. It had no sign. And it was only selling masks.
Well, it
Yeah.
was waiting there specifically for you.
Exactly, or
Yeah.
The
like
universe
tailor
was on
made.
your side.
Could be.
But the question is, have you ever seen that shop after you bought the mask?
That's an
Maybe it
excellent
magically,
question.
yeah, maybe it's like magically disappeared.
It was
Personally, I
tailor-made.
haven't.
Think about that.
It was the universe. It materialized the shop where you
Yeah,
can just bought it and just disappeared.
Manifested itself because
yeah.
it needed
The
that
whole
mask.
shop, yeah.
At least those were good ghosts. So everything okay with that. I noticed that we're already 1 hour past the start of the show. We're already 1 hour through the show. So I have a question that I always ask everyone. If you could choose one person you would think would accept being on this show, who would it be?
Mm,
It's quite hard to choose only one person.
mhm.
Usually I say, I'll settle for only one.
Mm, for an interview, let me think.
Well, I think that I have one person in mind. I would like think only about the Estonian community because I would like to like support our Estonian cosplay community, and I usually try to support young cosplayers. And here in Tallinn, we do have one cosplay group, which is Cosplay Studio, and I would say that I highly recommend to invite here their CEOs, which is like a cosplay duo, actually, Clean and Bombshi. So I think that this cosplay duo, because they're young cosplayers and I would like to support them.
All right. Send me the username so I can have
Sure. Yeah.
the correct spelling and all that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Me, I think obviously the cosplay community in the UK is pretty big.
The UK is
But
pretty big.
yeah, I would definitely highly recommend a really good friend of mine. Excuse the dog coughing in the background again. But and that would be Baron Cosplays. Um, she is absolutely lovely, and she's done cosplays from um, Demon Slayer, JoJo's, all kinds, and I highly look up to them because they are not only a lovely person, they're very hardworking. They make their cosplays, and I'm also in a performance group with them. I definitely a very fun person who would definitely be great on this show. Definitely.
All right. Same thing. Send me the username so I can have them
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
hand.
and for me, I think Devon might know him. Slayer cosplay. He's done a couple of. He still today has one of the greatest Silas from League of Legends cosplay from League of Legends costume, and another one that he does, and I just love like the detail. He made Yasuo, and he actually printed out like the mastery mode and had it stuck to his head. So every time like he went to like someone dressed as some character from League of Legends, he just dropped that and just pull out the mastery sign. And that was like those kind of like dumb details I love. So I will recommend him.
Slayer cosplay. Okay, no, I don't. That doesn't ring a bell to me. So it's a new one for me. Maybe I have seen him in the real world, but I don't. We haven't
That
been
happens a lot.
acquainted that way.
That happens a lot, and it's still one of my favorite stories when I walked to someone dressed as Jade from Mortal Kombat, like, oh, that's Dimas. Wait, that's Dimas? And I just see like the small like piece of light, like, oh hi, I didn't recognize you at all. This guy's a chameleon, like an actual real life chameleon.
Ugh. Ugh. I don't know. Okay, yeah, he's not the first one to say that, but that's actually my goal. I always keep telling the people that I want to become a master of disguise, and I think that I achieved that in a couple of years ago. Not with the Jade, but with Scarlet from Mortal Kombat. Jade was like the consequence of Scarlet, because I noticed that it was what 6, 7 p.m. and there were still people who I knew who were addressing to me as if I was a girl. So, there are still people who haven't realized that it's me. This is a success.
Yeah. Honestly, like, doing the opposite gender in cosplay is so fun. And like, I actually find men a lot more enjoyable to cosplay. Like, I find it like it's so comfortable. It's so much more comfortable than female cosplays. You don't have to worry about long wigs, no ponytails, no nothing. Like, it's, oh, I love it. I love it. It's great. But like, yeah, let's be honest, cosplayers, we're all shapeshifters. It's definitely a skill. And I think people outside the cosplay community don't realize like how much work goes into it, and like,
Mhm.
yeah, so fun.
Yeah, I also prefer cosplaying, man. No brass, no fillings,
That's so
no
funny.
corset.
It was so
Yes.
funny watching him like walk around with a corset and the feeling, because he actually had like the small hip movement while walking. It was amazing.
No
I
high
love
Well,
that.
heels.
well, no corsets. It's not for all men because some, like a lot of characters from Has-Been Hotel, they do have this like
Oh,
really
like the
small
thin
waist.
waist.
So even though those are like men, you still need to wear a corset. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I went around that just actually doing the shoulder way bigger, so actually still has like the small like the Dorito shape. And
Yes. Yeah.
thankfully,
Oh yeah.
I'm really skinny, so actually works with the giant shoulders and the small waist, and actually does that the Dorito.
Yeah, he's like a giant stick figure.
Yes. So that's funny because everyone always keeps telling me, why haven't you made Brooke from One Piece? And to this day, I want to so bad. It's like one of my dream cosplays. To just walk around the con in like the full skeleton suit and the violin and just keep playing everywhere.
Oh
Just really
hell yeah,
happy.
that'd be sick.
Speaking of crossplay, have you ever been mistaken by another cosplayer?
Yes.
Mhm.
It happened on Comic Con Baltics this year, and it happened like after the con because there was two cosplayers of Vash the Stampede. It was me and also another cosplayer. And after the con, I already in Tallinn, and somebody started like messaging me on Instagram, and she was like tagging me on the photos and talking to me as we knew each other. And when I checked the photos that she was tagging me on, I realized that she thinks that I'm the other cosplayer. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's not me. I don't know you. Who are you? So yeah, I was mistaken for another cosplayer in a very unexpected way.
Olivia?
Um, from the top of my head, I don't think we've been like mistaken for other cosplayers, but a lot of people get me and my sister Kai confused when we're in cosplay. I don't personally see it, but apparently people struggle to differentiate which one's which when we're in cosplay, and I find it really, really funny. So like we could pull up with like a new like cosplay duo, and like our mutuals come up to us and they're like, "Hold on, who's who?" And I was like, "How?" Like I said, I don't see it, but apparently we've got really similar features when we're in cosplay. So yeah, that's like the closest thing. Like people get us confused, but I don't think we've ever been confused for any other cosplayers.
Do you swap your cosplays?
Yeah, I was gonna say one
So
time swap them.
I don't I don't think we have before, but we have been thinking about it, like just for the sake of it. See like how the other person would look in that cosplay. Like we've borrowed cosplays off each other, but we've never done like a full swap. But that's a good idea though. We should probably do that. That'd be cool.
Vika?
I think I haven't been mistaken by someone else, as far as I believe, but I've
Vika's very
mistaken
unique.
someone else. Yes, because I'm either like a giant stick figure or a giant skeleton thing. There's no other. There's no other between. You can actually notice me, like if you walk around, you see like the sea of heads, and you're like a giant head on top of them. That's me.
Yeah,
But
that's him.
I mistaken someone, and it was so embarrassing, because it was a friend. He was dressed as a character from Valorant. I don't remember the name. And I'm like, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" I say, "How you doing?" And I thought that was him because he was dressed as, I think, someone from Tokyo Revengers or something. And he just looks at me like, "Do I know you?" "Hi, I'm Bika." I'm like, "Oh wait, you're not him." Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And the worst part
I
is he
had
was like a friend of a friend of mine, and she just looks at me like, "What was that?" I'm like, "I'll tell you later." Let me just crawl into a hole and die out of embarrassment.
I had once a situation where at the con nobody recognized me. Well, here in Estonia we do have a really small community, so basically everybody knows everyone. So I was cosplaying as Gojo Satoru, and almost everyone who I started talking to, they were like, and when I said like it's me, Arina, they were like, "Oh, it's you! Oh my god, I didn't recognize you," because it was the first time when I did my makeup completely in different way, and also like Gojo has those white lashes and everything like white and white eyebrows, and I think that it's changing the appearance a lot. So this is why nobody recognized me, but it was so funny because we do know each other with those people, with all of those people for quite a long time. And when I like come up to them and I starting talking to them as a friend, and they're like, "Who is this person?
Who are
Do
you?
I know this person?" And I'm like, "We're knowing each other for like what 10 years, and you do not recognize me."
In my
Again, cosplay is
case,
a shapeshifter.
Couples
Yeah.
are shapeshifters.
mhm,
Yes.
I can think of two cases of my own. One, I was mistaken by a guy, and the other one, I was mistaken by a lady. Um, the first one was when I was cosplaying the mask. The first and only time that I cosplayed the mask was the exact same time where another cosplayer was doing his cosplay of the mask for the first time as well. And he was on his own, so he was he was competing in the singles contest while I was in a group. And my group was doing the choreography with all the cops that you see in the movie,
Uh-huh.
the Cuban Pete. But the point is that we both danced to the Cuban Pete. And since his show was earlier, more people saw him. So on the pictures that were posted, people were tagging me where I was nowhere to be seen because they thought that guy, that mask over there was me. And the other case was 2 years ago when I brought my Scarlet cosplay for the first time. I was told, I never knew, I never realized because that's not on my account. But it seems like a lady who had in the past cosplayed Scarlet was being tagged with my photos.
So
Oh,
Those are the two cases that I can think of where I have been mistaken by another cosplayer. Have you ever arrived at a convention and found a cosplay that you wouldn't have thought someone would even conceive to do and left you impacted?
yes.
oh, I'm trying to think of one. Probably yes. Hmm.
Let's see.
In the meantime, I'll tell you mine because it's not the big thing. It's not something out of this world. It's just some character that I thought nobody would cosplay because it's a character from an old game that I really liked when I was a kid. But in one of our small events, I saw some guy dressed as Manny Calavera from Grim Fandango, one of the games by LucasArts back in the late 90s. And I never thought someone would cosplay him. I was planning to cosplay him. And I saw him, I knew I needed to have a picture with him, but I noticed something suspicious. He was with Meche, which was another character of the game. They both were kind of running, kind of in a hurry. So I was just observing them, but I did tell my friend next to me that I would like a picture with them, but I didn't move. But he didn't see what I saw, so he went running after them. Then I just see him returning alone, and then he told me, "Yeah, it seems like they lost the car key, so they're looking for them." Something like that. I knew something was going on because cosplayers don't run.
Proof.
That's true.
Oh,
I
I can think. I
I
think
did a
it was.
parody video about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
It
was
wasn't.
planned, but the footage is filming a cosplayer running towards the camera, and the camera is asking the cosplayer, "Hey, can I take a picture?" But the cosplayer just punches the camera and keeps running, and while he's still running, he says, "Shut up! I need to go to the bathroom."
Oh yeah. I can think of one, and it wasn't at a convention, but it was at a cosplay event. I don't know if how well you know JoJo's Bizarre Adventures,
Yeah.
but my friend went as Iggy the dog, and it was iconic. It was so funny, and I think someone else did Bibble from the Barbie movies. Like there were like 3 Bibbles at this event. I was like, I don't know what is happening, but I am loving this. Like, out of all the characters in the world, Iggy, the dog.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it was iconic. I can't fault it. It was great.
he's a
But
star
I never would have
cosplayer.
imagined someone would cosplay Iggy.
I think that will be my reaction when I finally see Canon Joseph Tequila. My mind will blow. I won't believe what I'm seeing. For
Wow, yeah.
me, for me was on this year's Comic Con. There was someone dressed as Rita Repulsa, the witch from Power Rangers, and the cosplay was so well done. Like it had everything. Was the details, the painting, the makeup, everything. And she was also carrying like the staff and a small lantern with all five like minifigures of the Rangers like trapped inside. And I'm like, oh my god, damn, I respect that. That and I was back in Orlando that I saw it. I don't know, maybe Dimas might know it. Have you seen a movie called Spaceballs?
That's
Like
awesome.
like the parody of Star Wars.
That's the best
There
Star
was
Wars movie that was never
yes,
made.
there was someone dressed as Darth Helmet, but when they are exploring the desert with a giant khaki hat, and he had like the small like pieces to watch inside the hat. I'm like, oh my god, I have so much respect for you because that like what like 10 people will know who are you, and everyone will just respect you. You have impeccable taste.
I saw one dark helmet in one of my adventures in Europe. It was the Comic Con Stockholm. It was the regular dark helmet, but he was holding the coffee cup, as he always is.
Yes. That
There were many classic cosplays on that day. Now that I think of it, there was even the '60s Batman.
oh, that's awesome.
I was taught that in Sweden it's called lederlapping.
Nice.
One
Yeah, I mean, another one I can think of. I didn't see it in person, but I saw it on TikTok. I think it was at New York Comic Con last year. Someone cosplayed Pitbull, but he was in like a priest outfit. He had like a globe halo and like like the ribbon they wear around them, and it was just like Pitbull's face on it. It was so well made. I was taken aback. I was like, I wish I was there. Like that is so cool and so creative. Like I honestly, I was loving it. It was so good, really
one
good.
one and actually a friend of mine that did it, and it's like an inside joke mostly here in Costa Rica because she was dressed as Kobeni from Chasaman, but she had the apron and the hat for Pollolandia. There's like a chicken restaurant, like a fried chicken restaurant here in Costa Rica. It's like super, like from how can I say it? Like from like not cheap, like the type of chicken you will get like 2 in the morning just because you are starving and don't have anything else to find open. Is that type of restaurant? And she was wearing like full Kobeni outfit, but just the hat and the apron from Pollolandia. Like, yes.
It's not anything special like Popeyes or KFC, but it's just
Exactly.
everywhere.
It's just everywhere. Like on every corner, on every street, you'll find a Pollolandia here in Costa Rica. And again, it's like the type of chicken that you know that thing is more grease than chicken, and who knows exactly if it's chicken or not. But if you're starving at 2 a.m., that's going to save your life.
I was gonna say it sounds like perfect drunk food after a night out.
Exactly. It's the exact thing you are when you're drunk.
Can't
That
complain with that.
or let me remember because I seen one that my mind was blown. Oh, I remember now. There was one, and that's mostly it's like a Star Wars reference. There was a someone here in Costa Rica that dressed as a beach trooper. So it was like the Hawaiian shirt, the shorts, the socks and sandals, and the stormtrooper helmet that said "Viva Costa Rica" with the straw hat on top of it, and he was carrying like a piña colada, and I'm like, I love that. I love that idea. It's so perfect.
Stormtrooper on vacation mode. I saw that we're already an hour and a half through the show. I don't know if I'm keeping you here because some of you might be hungry by now. I am.
Me too.
Okay, one more question. I usually ask this after the show, but so far at this point, how have you felt during this past hour and a half?
honestly pretty good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like time has flew because
Yeah.
what do you mean it's hour and a half? Like we just started.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
But
it's been
fun
really
hanging
fun.
out.
yeah,
It's like fun hanging out with people you haven't met before, and mainly when you have like this same type of experiences. Because at this point, I just believe every cosplayer has the exact same experience everywhere. Just they haven't just do it on a different way.
That's
Yeah,
one thing I
definitely.
noticed when I traveled for the first time to Europe. It was to Germany, but the vibe of the convention over there was exactly the same as ours. It was just a bigger place, a larger venue.
Mhm.
But the people properly, they behaved very similar to us.
that's
The
true because
problem
it's
over
like
there was that mm, in Germany, it's not so common for people to have a high level of English, so I had a hard time communicating because all the activities were presented in German. So I was just like, what? Bus? And I remember one moment I was dressed as Falco, so I was wearing a mask, nobody could see my face. But there were some Japanese tourists there, and they approached me. They were struggling to speak German. So one of them approached me and said, "Kann Foto zusammen?" Full
Aw.
of nervousness. But I understood those three words. So yeah, you want a picture together? Okay. I just posed. I just nodded and posed next to him. While we were taking the picture, I just asked him in Japanese, "Nihonjin desu ka?" And the three of them responded to me in German. Yeah, Japanish. I'm trying to speak Japanese with you because I have better chances to understand you in Japanese than in German.
Oh, no,
that's
it's really interesting.
yeah, the
Like
language.
hearing different experiences from like people from different countries and
Yeah.
like their experiences. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, and actually, the language experience is something that I've personally experienced only like recently because here in Estonia and in Baltics in general, like Latvia and Lithuania as well, the main language of the events is always English. Like all the people approaching each other, they start immediately speaking English. And when I went to Oslo, Norway, and when I was in Linköping, Sweden, then there, when people approach you, they start speaking like their language, Norwegian or Swedish. And I was like, this is a new experience for me. It's a con. This is like an event, and nobody's speaking English
English.
immediately. And I was like supposed to do like, okay, can we speak English? I do understand a little bit of Norwegian and Swedish, but still, can we speak English? So it was something new for me.
I learned a very important phrase before I traveled to Sweden. Jag talar inte svenska. And they immediately say, oh, sorry, and they continue talking in English. So that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lifesaver.
Well, my experience also showed that they do immediately switch to English. It's completely normal for them, but it just was funny for me that I'm so used to people talking English on the events, and then I'm in another country, and people are like not talking English on the first move, and I was like, okay, can we switch to English? That was fun experience.
Maybe that's more common in big countries since there's more
Uh-huh.
people, so it's more common for them to find their own compatriots.
Yeah, that's completely possible because I think that here in Baltics we always travel to the cons that we do have here because every person, like a lot of cosplayers from Estonia, they travel to Lithuania and Latvia, and a lot of people from Lithuania and Latvia they do travel to Estonia. So it's like a one community of people who have different native languages. So that's why we all speak English on our events. But maybe it's not so common like in Sweden and Norway, because they do have their languages that, like, even if they are traveling, then they don't need to speak English because they do understand, like, Norwegian understands Swedish people and vice versa. So they don't need so much English, I guess.
Hmm.
But it's, yeah. So this is the reason why we do have here, like, main language for the events here in Baltics is English, because we are like one big community here.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I still don't have any uh, travel plans for this year, but I was looking at the ticket prices, and more than likely I'll be making at least a stopover in London, which is the cheapest way for me to arrive in Europe. Last time I traveled was making a stopover in Madrid, but that doesn't seem to be a possibility anymore. The prices have risen insanely.
I understand the pain because the last year I went with some friends to Japan, and to this day I still regret every bit of myself that I didn't had my Gojo week and at least the glasses, because the hotel where we were staying, it was like 2 or 3 blocks away from the KFC in Shinjuku. So the actual like KFC scene, and I'm like, I could have taken a picture of myself as Gojo in front of there. Why? So there was still regret, and I'm like, I need to go back. I need to go back. I have to go back.
You
Oh,
planning
I'm
to go
so
back?
jealous. I'd love to go to Japan. It's just so expensive.
It a little. It was between like hotels, food, and plane tickets. It was like $3,000 around, something like that. It's not that much
That's not
for like
too
a
bad, actually.
no. It wasn't that bad, and you can find like a lot of like cheap, like good places to stay. Mainly because at least a place for you like crash at the end of the evening, because you're going to be walking around everywhere. And to this time, I need to like be ready, because the moment I touch upon Akihabara, I lost myself. I lost myself. I couldn't even like process walking around there. That and another place that if someone goes, I will 1,000% recommend, especially if you're a cosplayer. Uh, it's a district called Ikebukuro. There's an actual cosplay outlet, as in an entire store of used and new cosplays. And they sell props,
I heard that.
eye contacts, wigs, details, makeup, everything. I'm like, oh my god. At this point,
I
I
wish.
wouldn't.
That sounds like a dream. Like a
It
dream
really
come
does.
true.
I
Or
cannot.
like they've got these like cosplay studios as well. Like
Yes,
I
I've
know
seen
someone
the
who went to them,
photos.
and it's so cheap as well. Like it's ridiculous, and they've got like so many different rooms and like different sets. I'm like, oh my god, that would be a dream come true. But it would be so expensive if someone did that in the UK, where
Yeah.
for them it's like such a normal thing. It's great, honestly.
Oddly enough, there wasn't any like actual people walking around in cosplay. I saw like at least a couple. Mainly what I see was like, of course, like made outfits or something along those lines. But like actual cosplayers, I only went to like a couple of stores that sell like everything. One that I blew away was they sell a lot of like Kimetsu no Yaiba like merchandise, and they were selling even the actual like wooden sandals for the cosplays. I'm like, oh wow.
Makoto
And
sends his regards from Panama. It's currently like almost 3 p.m. in Panama. Yeah, he says, I see them, but I don't know what's supposed to be seen. I missed that part.
Little bell.
Okay.
Maybe it's like Sauron. I see you.
Oh, the all-seeing eye. Maybe. Keep your secrets if you want, Gandalf. Hmm. I have a list of surreal questions that I didn't ask you during the show, but the last serious question I have is, what's your favorite thing about cosplay?
Hmm.
It's quite hard to choose only one.
Yeah.
I said mine at the very start of the show. The being on the stage, receiving the applause of the audience.
Mm.
I think for me, it's being able to bring a character to life that you really, really love. Like, it could be a character that you watched as a kid, and you're like, damn, they're so cool. And then suddenly you've got the opportunity to become that character. Like, it's kind of like, the nostalgia, the opportunity to actually like become that character. That's like one of the best parts about it, especially like I said, with the performing arts aspect of it as well, like bringing a scene to life of like a character like performing a scene or like singing a song and just fulfilling that fantasy. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling.
Now that you say nostalgia,
Mhm.
many people, when I ask this question, many people say the reaction of the children, but I prefer the reaction of the grown-ups.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes,
Yeah.
I
finally,
agree.
people who agree with me. I
No, because
have
it's like
a
people that also grew up on that stuff and they get it. Like they can appreciate the character and the franchise is great.
So it's kind of like that feeling like, oh my god, I love your character. I grew up with your character. For example, there's someone here in Costa Rica that has one of the most amazing Mandalorian costumes I've ever seen. Because he's like the chrome armor. He actually has like the satchel with the baby, like this plushy baby Yoda. And I'm like, and that like that level of like, oh my god, I love that character. It's one of my favorites. And actually seeing that kind of like the character walking around in like real life, like, oh my god, that that is true. For me, it would be the experience and the people, because I love the characters. I usually choose a character that I actually love or actually like feel myself in like that person. And like the experience of like researching, working on it, like putting an effort and everything just to finish up in like a beautiful costume, and then walking around, meeting new people, meeting friends, and like the experience of walking around in a con, in a cosplay, like dumb stuff you do with your friends, some dumb stuff you actually do with new people that you haven't met before, and just sharing that experience with everyone. That's for me is what I love about cosplay.
I think that for me it will be like, as I said, it's too hard to choose only one thing. But if I will gather all the things in one word, then it will be the opportunities that cosplay gives. Because I do realize that cosplay gives a lot of opportunities to learn new stuff, to meet new people, to travel as well. Because now we do have a lot of like international cosplay competitions, which do give a lot of people a lot of opportunity to travel, which is amazing in my eyes. And also to like in social media, also there is so many opportunities for people to like express their feelings, their artistic ways, and also like realizing themselves as cosplayers, as artists. And this is amazing. Like I think that yes, the best thing for me about the cosplay are the opportunities that it gives to people.
Yes, I agree about that. Especially in Europe, unfortunately, it's not that easy, that simple here in the American continent. But I can see it. The point is that around here, you need to be careful on which on who organizes each convention or festival.
Yes.
You might get scammed.
Yep.
And there's one thing that, okay, it's not related to Estonia or UK, but when I was staying in Stockholm, precisely, my host was telling me that the Swedes are kind of naive. They trust too much on the people. So when I go out on the street, I am always very terrified and respectful of the incoming cars, so I don't cross the street until there are no cars around. Because around here, some people don't respect the pedestrian, so it's kind of dangerous just to cross the street without properly being aware that the car is actually going to stop, as an example. But I see your point, and yes, there are very good and new opportunities around here as well. Not everything is bad. Recently, we've had many contests that give us trips to, for example, Mexico, Colombia, maybe not to Europe, but this year actually we had representatives at the WCS. That was something that had been lost for a couple of years, but we got it back. So yes, we're trying to improve around here as well.
Not only that, and we were speaking about the contest. Yeah, that like, okay, giving the option for someone to travel overseas and everything, but like, okay, the price, for example, for the contest was here's the ticket of the con. You're the one who need to run around with plane tickets, stay, food, and everything. And like, okay, like I understand. Thank you for the opportunity, but now it's time to like somehow made up all that money just for actually using the prize that you got. So that's another like stuff that mainly in Costa Rica we're trying to work on because they're still a little bit new about that.
What's the phrase? There is talent. We're just lacking sponsorship.
Yes.
Something like that. Something around those lines. Another guest that I had in the past suggested me a different type of activity, because in the past I had a lot of yes, no questions. So if the question was no, it was over and it got kind of boring and monotonous. But I have a series of 10 questions that are yes, no. The first one is, can you all use a sewing machine?
Yes and no.
Only Mika doesn't. I have
I'm
a mini
working on
sewing
it.
machine. It looks like a stapler.
I believe it's good for the con,
Hmm?
like to take it with you to a con. It's a perfect option for the events.
Yes, it's portable. It uses AA batteries.
Yeah, amazing.
That's pretty clever.
It's kind of delicate. I'm afraid that I'm gonna drop it someday and it's gonna be broken in pieces. But so far, it works. The second question is, have you made armors?
Yes.
Not yet. I'd love to though.
I made props out of EVA foam, but it was like mechanic armor. I don't know if it counts.
Mechanic armor?
I mean, it was like the mechanic arm and details, like other details. So it wasn't like armor, but it was done out of
Armor
EVA
pieces.
foam.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mm,
Armor pieces.
Um,
I would count
li-
it.
I can work on on props, on armors, everything. The moment you give me a wig or makeup, I'm like,
I've made one armor, and that's it. I despise the experience. It's Cyrax.
it's
Cyrax is,
good.
Cyrax is the only cosplay that I've made myself. I prefer to have everything already done, and I just put it on and perform the show. That's my specialty.
Trust me, it's good to actually work on props because you reach a point where the amount of cuts from the cutter, the amount of burn marks for with the heat gun or the silicone gun, you stand to like lose sensitivity on the fingers, and it works a
You
lot.
do. Yes, that's so true.
It's
Like,
like then you're just gluing something with hot glue, and right after that you just touch this glue, and you're like, "This is
yeah,
fine. I
Oh,
don't mind.
I do that like
okay.
That's fine."
always, and I hate myself because I do it out of instinct. I'm like, oh, damn it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I've
Yeah.
worked a lot with thermoplastic, those polymorph beads.
Hmm.
That's how I made the scythe for Scarlet. So that's those are the kind of burns that I've had with thermoplastic, not so much with hot glue.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, I've got a story about hot glue. I remember when Kai was making something over COVID, and she was gluing fur, and she was putting hot glue on some fur to stick on something, and she accidentally stuck the fur to her hand, and up to now, she's got a massive scar like on the side of her hand here. It was so bad to the point she nearly needed plastic operation.
oh,
So you do not mess with hot glue. Like you got to be so careful when you use any kind of like heat products because it can mess you up and it hurts.
Yeah.
um, I've been burned like with the heat gun. I burn myself at least once every time I work on a custom because I don't know, I heat proof the DB phone or something. I put it on top of it, and somehow I always step on it. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I keep stepping on the heat gun. That or with the I think that was yesterday. I was working with a solder iron just to like create like textures on an armor. And my I don't know why my instinct is like, oh, I need to change the tip.
No.
That hurt.
Oh my
Ouch.
god. Oh.
Ooh.
That hurt.
The third
I think
question.
you develop like an anti-survival instinct when you work on props.
At least
Mhm.
you didn't try to eat it.
Mm, I haven't, but at one time I realized way too late that you need like eye and mouth protection when you're using a Dremel with a phone.
Yeah. Standing. Yeah.
At sometimes I like, but my mouth tastes weird. It's eBay dust.
Yeah.
Lovely. Delicious.
That's
Nutritious.
gonna that's gonna hurt in a couple of years. Nah.
Okay. No, but I have not one, but two people at least who have used super glue on one of them on fake teeth, the other one
No.
the other one on her daughter's elf ears,
No.
No.
Oh no.
and
That's
they seem to be okay with it, and I'm like, no, you don't do that. I'm not gonna recommend that. I'm not gonna do that
Mm.
on me.
Uh, I used, but I accept that was like stupid decision on me. I made Davi from My Hero Academia, and burn marks. It was the first time I was working with my idea of latex, but instead it was glue and water because I didn't find latex in time. And okay, it kind of worked the first time, but when it fully dried up, it kept breaking apart because I mean it's like that thing became solid. And my dumb brain in that moment, because I was in the middle of the con, was, oh, I have eyelash glue. I can use that to stick it to my face. So I kept like sticking all the burn marks to my face and my hands. And at one point they just crumble and fall apart. And I just look at my face like in the mirror, like actually look like burn marks from Davi because I had all the like black splotches of eyelash glue all over my face, and like the irritation of that being stuck to your face. That was a bad idea.
Mm,
Don't try this at
definitely
home, kids.
creative.
No.
Don't try this at home, yeah.
No, definitely not.
That is like one time a friend of mine, he actually did Blitzo from Hello Boss, but he didn't have face paint. So he paints himself with acrylic paint.
No.
And he was like, so hey, and he was showing us the costume and everything, and you're like, how did you paint yourself? You didn't buy any. Oh, I use acrylic paint. And all of us, our faces were like, oh my god, you're gonna regret that later. So bad.
So what happened later? Do you know?
I think it's okay.
Did it come off without staining?
Thankfully, yeah, but my god, I understand if you're like at least like a small like piece or like doing it with a pilot or something like a marker, but the entire face with acrylic paint, I wouldn't even consider it.
Well, in the end,
Yeah.
acrylic paint becomes plastic, so it's easy to peel off. But
Mhm.
I
it's
guess
still
that's true, yeah.
But when you peel it off, you feel like, I don't know, you're getting like a face, like what's it called?
Like a face
Like
mask, like a
a
little
face
peel
mask.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting peeled off. Exactly, that's the word.
Mhm. No,
moving on to
definitely.
another topic. The third question is: do you like acting?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
My people is here.
I kind of feel like cosplay and acting goes hand in hand, especially
Yeah.
if you do like TikTok content or if you do masquerade performances. It kind of does go hand in hand. So, yeah, 100%.
I've taken acting lessons for both theater and film, but I've never been paid to act. So my outlet for now is cosplay. But I still want someday to be a professional actor.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Moving
Ever
up.
since the Mortal Kombat presentation, I noticed that you had like acting experience just by the way you like direct and move your body and the way you present yourself. It
Yes, and your
shows.
stage presence as well.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was refreshing because not only Mortal Kombat has always been my favorite game, but it was a long time since I stepped on a stage to cosplay. Also, I was telling my my partner in that skit and also the rest of the people that when I was a kid, when I was like 9 years old, I used to play with a friend during the recess at school that we were Mortal Kombat characters and we were fighting each other as if we were characters from the game. So that show that we did a couple of weeks ago brought me back. It revived me in a way.
We really should one day make a presentation duo.
We have already discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot guarantee that my Batman will be usable because the shoes are still not very trustworthy. I have worn my Batman cosplays so many times that degraded, so I have been trying to repair, especially the shoes. Besides that, I don't know which other characters we have in common.
We can find some actually. That's one. Because I'm thinking maybe like because I'm thinking like any like fighting games or something, it could actually work a lot. Because I don't believe any Mortal Kombat characters could actually fit me.
There aren't any that fit me, but I use a muscle suit to hide
Huh.
my skinniness. I'm only
That's a smart
bones
idea.
under sleeves.
I love that idea. I should use that.
This is the first time. This is the first year where I'm finally able to cosplay Johnny Cage, because in the past he has always been shirtless, and he's a mountain of muscles.
This is so good.
And
I'm still missing.
the sad part is that he has always been my favorite character, but due to his physique and his presentation, I've been unable to cosplay him. That's why I always look for characters that are completely covered.
To this day, I still need you to record the Pitbull song with that Johnny Cage cosplay. It's a need.
No, I have a different plan for Johnny. I'm gonna take him to the event that we have by the end of August. But I have a different plan. I just hope the glam bot that was last time will be there.
Oh,
Again, I need that glam bot to be there.
don't remind me about that event because I still haven't finished my costume, and I keep hearing it on the background of my brain.
Okay, I won't.
He's hunting. He's hunting me. I believe that actually. It's actually funny because I do believe that's an experience every cosplayer has, like the con crunch the week before the event. Even though you prepare yourself, even though you say, I'm going to work that costume beforehand, I'm going to finish it earlier, you always end up working it at 3 in the morning the day before the event.
I've used to do that, but I just all the last times when I was con crunching, it was so terrible, and the last time when I was like I had those sleepless nights and like for the whole week, it was when I was cosplaying Jinx, and I just told myself that never again because it was terrible. So yeah, con crunch. This is something that is in the community, so a lot of people do have that, but well, I've tried to avoid it as much as possible.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean,
you have my
it's
respect.
I don't understand how people can like fully make a cosplay like 3 days before the con. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm just done my cosplay now. I'm hand sewing it like fully. I'm just like, how? Why do you do that to yourself? I mean, I've made the mistake of doing it, like especially with wigs. I'm really bad with leaving wigs last minute, and I regretted it so bad this year because I was meant to get a Rui wig from Demon Slayer like far before the con, and I was like, it's fine, I'll order it a week off the con or like a week before off Amazon. It will come the next day. Turns out that that particular wig doesn't get shipped on Prime like the next day or anything. So I was like, okay, well that's great, that's amazing. I can't get like a good quality wig in time before then. So I was like, okay, I'll just get a random wig off Amazon and I will just like, I'll go over it myself. And the wig gets here and the quality is so bad. But
No.
because I don't have anything else, that's what I've got to do. I've got to work on that. And I hated that wig. Thankfully, I got a new one in the end, and I had like a little redemption photo shoot. But my God, never doing that ever again. It was so bad.
The last time, thankfully for this one, for end of the month, I'm not missing a lot. I believe myself I could have it done before Thursday, like 2 or 3 days before the event. But for the last Comic Con that we went, my girlfriend and I we went as Luffy and Nami, but the egghead versions, so with the giant Mega Man boots. And on the next day, she was wearing she went as Sesshomaru from Inuyasha, and I was Kane, like the Heart Steel version of Kane. And oh my god, in like the span of like 2 weeks, we work on all four of the boots, the side, her armor, all the details like the headphones on the suits, the lock pose and everything. And I'm like, oh my god. I still remember, I still have like nightmares of Friday night, like 1, 2 a.m. working so hard because we're still missing. Okay, we need this paint to finish drying up. Okay, I'm gonna start working on this. In the meantime, you finish up there. Thankfully, we managed to have everything done, but oh my god, never again I'm going to do that. Like, because I also sometimes do commissions, so I had also had commissions work for that exact same day, and my girlfriend as well because she does week commissions. So oh my god, that for that Comic Con was horrible, horrible having so much work in the span of like less than a month.
Prioritize sleep, kids.
Yeah, what is it? Sleep is overrated.
Yeah, sleep. Never heard of it. Mm-mm.
Even though it's like normal to this point that when you go to a con, your diet is based upon Monster Energy and coffee, and
Yeah.
and regret. That's how you survive on a con.
Yeah,
This
throw
is
in a
something
little bit of
that
nicotine there as well.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is something that I've tried to change. Like the last event that I went to, I even had my lunch box with me. Like I had a plan to have a lunch, and then I just brought it back home because I had no time, and also I was so nervous because I was going on stage. So I didn't even have the appetite to eat. So it was just coffee and water. Thankfully, it was water because usually it isn't even water; it's
Water.
just coffee. Yeah, and I'm trying so bad to fix that, but it just seems to be impossible to eat at con.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Now, on the last festival that I went, I brought with me an apple and a Gatorade, and I'm planning to, on the next one, to bring something else like a little more nutritious.
Precious.
I know
Oh,
it's in some venues it's not allowed to bring a lunchbox with you, but if I can fit it in my pocket,
mm,
sometimes
that's
most of the time I bring an orange juice box, one of those like 250 millimeter boxes.
that's why you wear props, because you can hide food inside your props.
Yes,
For
yes.
an for an event, the event I went with Bakugo, my grenade gauntlets are completely hollow inside. So it basically stuffed one of the gauntlets with like cheeseburgers and fries from McDonald's, and
Like
they
in
just go
Sergio
inside
Leone.
like no one told me anything, and like there we go.
That's
If you don't
crazy.
know, yeah, if you don't know how to bring food to the convention, just make it a part of your props, and then
Eh,
you will bring it to the convention.
Like
That's
I can
actually
home cook it.
mad.
It's home
Yeah.
cooked.
No, I mean, that's crazy to me that you can't bring your own food in at some conventions. Like, the food at conventions is so overpriced. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Oh my god, it is
Like,
true.
that's so bad. Honestly.
Is it even a thing? Like, is it prohibited to bring food to some convention? Because I've never like faced such a problem.
It depends on
I've
the
just
venue.
Oh, never.
It depends on the venue.
Yeah,
Maybe
we've never had that in the UK either.
Well, I usually take some snacks with me, so it's not like a full meal. So maybe this is why I've never seen it wasn't like a problem to me because it's just the snacks. So I think
Yeah.
that snacks are not prohibited on any event. But yeah, maybe if we're talking about the whole meal, then it could be a
Mhm.
problem. I can understand that.
I can
I
imagine
have
someone.
personally never had any problems bringing food. I'm even surprised because I'm even allowed to bring realistic looking weapons and nobody says anything.
I still don't understand that because some of the venues here in Costa Rica they get so annoying with that. Like your weapon cannot have like a wood structure or like metal structure, like a metal rod. Even though the metal rod is covering like 6 layers of bone, just the fact that it has a metal inside prohibited. Or and what's funny is one time, uh, my girlfriend was wearing Venti from Overwatch, from Overwatch, from Genshin, and her bow was made of what is it? That type of wood that is really, really, really light and
Balsa wood.
you see, yeah, balsa wood. And they didn't let her in with the bow. They said, "Oh, it's you can hit someone. It should be dangerous. Like just by looking at it, you can break it. That thing's not going to be any danger." And the worst part is, they let me. They let me in the exact same day, and I had the Shangli spear, but the entire spearhead I printed it, yes, like a 3D printing, and that thing had actually like edges and everything, and it was like really solid. Like, okay, they let me with that, but they don't let her with a wooden bow, and it
That's
didn't have this.
crazy.
They didn't have the string and everything. Sometimes what I realized is that they, if the piece is really giant or the entire thing is really big, they don't be that they don't check it a lot. Because when I was wearing Thresh, my lantern is entirely 3D printed, and Dimas has seen the lantern. It's like this big and heavy, heavy, because it's almost like solid. And they don't tell me anything. Like, bro, I could knock out someone with that thing, and you didn't tell me anything.
Make it make sense,
Hmm.
honestly.
Or a friend of mine actually, I oh my god, I hate him. A friend of mine went as Zoro, and the three swords were metal. As in the full on katana that don't have don't have like they aren't don't have the edge enough to cut you. But he was walking around with all three of them. Like, how on earth they let you? I I don't get it.
Yeah. Security at cons are a interesting lot.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's like they pick and choose who to let in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a lottery.
Remember
So far,
they
I'm
let.
thankful that I've been lucky enough not to be stopped by my arsenal.
Hmm.
And Vika knows that I have a lot of characters who are professionals in killing people, like Mr. 47 from Hitman,
Oh, I
Lloyd
remember.
Forger from Spy Family.
Wait, Emily. Did I tell you? Because when I presented as Joker, I had like a small plastic pocket knife, but the event was inside a mall.
Mhm.
So of course they're not gonna let me in with that thing. So like in full character, I hide the pocket knife inside like the suit with the glove, and I just was walking around with the cane. The worst part is, and you've seen the my Joker cane is made of like das, kind of like a what's the name, like clay, but like a really solid clay. 'Cause it's almost like a piece of stone just molded in the face of a Joker. And they didn't mug me with that. And in the main representation, I'm like, just put out the pocket knife. Like, oh, thankfully no one saw that.
So, what did you do with the cane?
Oh, it's still there. The candy didn't tell me anything because they say, oh, it's just like a plastic cane. It's not. There's no issue there. Yeah, the tube is plastic. The head is made of stone.
Hmm, I see.
I could,
The The fourth question is: have you used your own hair for a cosplay?
Yes,
No.
I
Once,
literally right now.
I think we all have.
No,
once
no,
and
no.
never again.
I've never had.
No.
This is the experience that I've never had. At least not. I used only like half. Before I will answer that question, do you see my picture or no? Like, is there video of me as well or no?
Yeah,
We see
We
you
can see
Okay,
you on camera.
on
Yeah.
video.
yeah.
because for me it shows like only a black box, so I don't know why I don't see a video of me. So just to be clear.
We currently see
Okay.
you.
Huh?
Maybe you can
Yeah.
check on Twitch if you're actually
Uh-huh.
being shown, because
In
we
live?
see you on StreamYard.
Yeah, we can see you, no problem.
Well, I do not have other device to check, so I believe it's visible to others as well. Well, about the hair, answering that question, I had only like 50-50, because for my Vash cosplay, I've used my undercut here. So it was like Vash has undercut here, and I do as well. So I only used like a half of the wig over here, like the blonde part, and the other half was just my hair. And like this part of my hair was braided by my hairdresser. So this is the only way that I used my hair in cosplay. All the other times, I think that I always used the wig. Yeah, at least I do not recall me using my own hair.
Mm.
For
In
me
fact, I'm
was
going the opposite way, because sometimes, in order for me to match the look of a character, I have to shave some part of my, maybe mostly the face. There is a
oh
there's a very dear character of mine that I haven't been able to use because he is bearded, and for the other characters I have to shave my face, so I haven't cosplayed him in a while. Uh, in the first episodes of Irrelevant Interviews, I used to cosplay as Cheo Gorath from the Elder Scrolls, the Prince of Madness, but I haven't, just because I've needed to shave for other cosplay purposes. Then
and
when I cosplay Link, when I'm using those pants that look like taken out of the 70s, I prefer to shave my legs, because it looks so weird when I'm showing my hairy legs under those white pants. And the shoulders, I need to shave my shoulders on that cosplay as well.
uh,
So
I
I'm going
understand
the
this.
opposite way. I'm not using my actual hair, but I'm getting rid of it.
In that case, because I understood for just wigs, just like my hair, but I understand you perfectly. Because for example, for Luffy, I need to shave all of my arms and legs. For Gyutaro as well, and for Davi, I need to do it. And just because one time I didn't do it and the paint is stuck to it, because it's going to be covered by the paint, and I didn't, and oh my god, taking out the paint was so hurtful, because I felt like just peeling my hair off as well. That, and recommendation, mainly for Dimas and me, if you're going to use your beard for a cosplay, decide exactly what day you're using the beard for, and the next one you're not. Because I want to use my beard for Hawks, because he only had like a couple of hairs down here. But the next day I was wearing Alastor, so I'm like, oh, I had to like cut my hair perfectly just for work, just to work for the beard for Hawks, and then the exact night shave it off completely, because I had to be completely clean for the face paint.
I did that precisely on the last time I wore Sheo Gorath at the Comic Con Stockholm. I took Sheo Gorath on Saturday, and then I shaved, and the next day I went as the Joker. So yes, I have to plan ahead like 3 weeks to get enough beard for Sheo.
Yeah, I have For example, I call it, a friend of mine calls it the Aizawa beard, because if I shave on the neck just for a week, I have like a clean face, and the next weekend I already have like the shaggy beard from like Aizawa that I haven't even taken care of himself. And the week after I already have full beard. I'm like, okay. I already have like I already know how much time goes between stages, so I can, okay, I need shaggy beard. Okay, just 1 week beforehand. I need full beard, 2 weeks. I need to be clean shaven the night after. Because if I do it, and I hate, sometimes I shaven myself like the night before the event. And for example, I shave on Friday night. I need to be clean on Saturday. And on Sunday, I already have like the small stubble again. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it.
The fifth question says, if a ninja falls off a tree and there's no one around to hear it, does it still make a sound?
Good question.
No, because a good ninja would never make a sound.
Exactly. That's the correct answer.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah, I agree.
Question 6 says, if I own 2 pink giraffes, will I be forced to take harmonica lessons?
Hmm.
If you want them to make them dance, you should.
Yeah.
Interesting. Question 7 says, if you were forest psychologists, would you practice vegetarianism?
No. Never. I could
Nope.
not. Mm-mm.
You don't need your clients.
I am Polish. I am a meat eater through and through. Mm-mm. It's chicken or nothing. I'm sorry.
Chicken or nothing.
Same here.
Question 8 says, do you think Kirby has any teeth?
No, because he's just in hells.
Yeah. He doesn't need
you-
to. He doesn't chew.
Exactly, he never chews.
Never
Never
choose.
chews.
Makes perfect
Never
sense.
choose.
Question 9 says, have you ever been interviewed by a cosplayer other than me?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
I've been.
Everyone has.
Maybe, yeah.
Not by cosplayer, but at a con, yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
that
It
too.
was in another environment. Yeah, it wasn't like online, or it was like 50-50. It was online and also like at the
At the con.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It was a small event. It wasn't con. It was like we just showed our costumes. So it was a really small event, but it was a big online event. So it was, the interview was broadcasted as well, and we had like a huge group of cosplayers. Yeah.
Yes, I make the
And we were
distinction
interviewed by the
because I make the distinction because I have an offline version of my relevant interviews. So that's why I differentiate them by calling one of them online. But if I am present at a convention, there's a possibility that I'm going to approach you and ask you like 4 surreal questions. Last time when I went to the Wales Comic-Con, actually I got paralyzed. I got intimidated because even if I knew that people were speaking English, I was having a hard time understanding some of them. I found myself asking like 3 times, "What did you say?" Trying to decipher. It's hard to get used to that British accent.
It's fine. At least you didn't go to Scotland. Then you would have struggled. Yeah.
In the end, I managed. In Telford, in the end, I managed, but it was kind of difficult. London wasn't that so bad, that bad. But I can imagine that Scotland would be like a harder difficulty level.
I seen in our Doctor Who to confirm that.
Yeah, even I struggle with understanding some Scottish people, and I've been living here for about 18 years. That's saying something. Like it's like a complete different language sometimes. They have their own little words for things, and they have different way of like pronunciating their words. It's impossible, especially when they talk fast. It's crazy. I do not recommend.
Not recommended.
No, Scottish people are lovely. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but if your first language isn't English and you're not like really confident in it, Scotland is not the way to go.
I can imagine.
Yeah, the
Also,
higher you go, the worse it gets.
it's bad news if I start making irrelevant interviews because if it's a place that I know or an event that I am familiar with, then it means that I'm bored. So I'm coming up with the idea of interviewing people just to spend time. So if I find myself not doing the interviews, then it means that I'm having a good time. It's being a good event, a good convention. But if I'm exploring a new place and I don't know anyone, I might not use that as an opportunity to get acquainted with some people. Like the last time I did that was again at the Comic Con Stockholm. It wasn't that long ago. That's why I keep bringing it back. The last question of the list says, have you ever encountered someone dressed as the same character as you?
Many times.
Yes,
Many
and I love
times.
it.
It's great. It's like the little Spider-Man meme, with the three of them. Just like, yeah, it's great.
For me was for the last time I was wearing Luffy, but the Gear Fifth version, and two other friends were actually wearing the same, like, all three of them posing the exact same thing was hilarious. That, and with Shangli, it was funny because we were walking around all three. I was walking around. I see one of my friends dressed like, oh my god, yes, yes, we're going to see. And here comes another one. Oh my god, yes. And we all look at each other like, shall we cross spears? Yeah. And you see like, one of my friend's girlfriend just looking at us like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. What was mine? I remember I did Circus Baby from Five Nights at Freddy's, and one of my mutuals was doing Circus Baby as well, and then we found another one, and we do actually have a photo of the three of us like doing the Spider-Man meme thing, where we're just all pointing at each other. But I think the best time to bump into someone that's doing the same character as you is when you're doing like quite a niche character. So me and Kai, my sister, we did Rio and Akira from Devilman Crybaby, and surprisingly, there was another Rio and Akira that same day. We were like, oh my god, no way, that's so cool. With like the full wings and everything, it was
Oh
amazing.
wow.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Arina?
Well, I don't recall like a lot of situations like that when the people were cosplaying the same character as me. But the last experience was at this Comic Con that I was already talking about, when there was the second cosplayer who were cosplaying Vash, the Stampede. So yeah, it was a fun experience. We also did a photo like this, pointing at each other like, oh my god, we are the same person. So it's fun. It's fun.
I'm a
Once
full bit.
I was chasing after a 60s Batman, which I had never seen besides my own. And when I finally caught up with him, I I just asked him from behind his back, "Can I have a picture with Batman?" And then he turned around and he noticed that I was Batman as well, and he was like, "Oh!" But it was I had to chase him. He was like very elusive. And you already heard the story of the mask, but I at the festival I never met him. I never saw him. When it was my turn to go up on the stage, he had already changed into another cosplay. He now was Deadpool, so there was no way for me to have found him. And I have seen one Johnny Cage at the same time that I was another variant of Johnny Cage. But I only knew he existed, but I couldn't approach him and have a picture with him or anything.
Me, for me, it's a.
That's
Oh no, now you said like variant. I remember last time I was wearing Alastor, I saw a friend and she was dressed as well as Alastor, but the nun version. And before I were like, oh my god, what day are you going to Alastor? Oh, I'm going on Sunday. Oh, awesome, I'm going to Alastor as well on Sunday. We totally need a picture together. Because I love that. I'm full believer that you don't need to be like jealous if someone is wearing your exact same
Yeah.
Yeah.
character. Just enjoy it because it's hilarious, and some people actually take advantage and act as in the character will see itself in the same place, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and I think it needs to be normalized more because I feel like in the cosplay community, comparison is such a massive thing.
Hmm.
Like, it's not even like cosplayers comparing themselves to each other. It's people like who don't cosplay or people like outside of that cosplay group comparing these cosplays to each other. Like, there's no need for it. Everyone has their own styles. Everyone has their own ways of doing it. We're all doing it for fun, kind of thing. Like, you should
Exactly.
embrace it. It's you should use the opportunity to bond over that character with people.
I was hearing that on one podcast or live stream. The point is that there are some conventions that are not only about cosplay, but there are other activities at the same time. So there were these people who were specialists in another topic like gaming or um, game casting, and inevitably you'll be watching the cosplayers going around the venue, so they will at some point talk about them, what they see, and I heard them making comparisons of those who were wearing the same character. So it's true, it's mostly the people outside of
Hmm.
the community who are making those comparisons.
Yeah.
And not only that, because for example, I don't know if I seen someone, for example, if you have a guitar cosplay, I'm like, oh my god, what do you think I should improve of mine? Or you tell me, oh, I love your size, you should do it a little bit smaller, maybe it will fit more your size, or you need to you need to check upon the spots on your chest, move it a little bit better so it won't look like too much on one side and the other one doesn't. That's something that I do believe you can do if you're wearing the exact same costume, as in
Yeah.
ask each other. Or for example, if I want, I know for a fact if I want to do a a fallout guy costume, I will 1000% ask Dimas. Exactly.
Well, it's always good to ask for the feedback, and also like if cosplayers are just discussing between themselves, like between them the cosplay, because I've had this experience as well. When I was cosplaying as Blitz from Hello Boss, then I was discussing with another cosplayer who was cosplaying as another character from the same fandom about how we made the horns, like, and it was fun because we reached it completely in the completely different ways how to craft them, and this is
Hmm.
like to discuss the things with other cosplayers. But when it goes to like comparing each other, like or other people, I know that recently there was even a trend on some social media platforms where people out of cosplay community were making like edits of cosplayers videos, and you see this cosplayer, this is good, but then you see this cosplayer, this is even
I've
better, and
seen
they are cosplaying
those.
the exact same character, and I was like, who on earth like decided that this is a good thing to do?
Yeah.
Why? This
Yes.
is such like, oh my god, I was just shocked that this it wasn't like only one video, it was a trend, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is the worst thing that I have seen on cosplay
Hmm.
community, like, or one of
Mhm.
the worst things, yeah, because people are just openly comparing two cosplayers. People who are not in the community are
Hmm.
openly
Yeah.
those, and I was like, what in
There's no need.
We have seen those as well around here.
Hmm.
What you would call the tropicalized version.
Yes.
We may stay here, but I'm gonna put an end to the streaming on Twitch. So if you can stay longer, you don't need to do anything. I'm just gonna put an end to the show. And if there's still anyone watching, remember that everything is relative except that which is absolute. In that case, it'll be absolutely relative. I'll see you in the future or in the past.